I followed this promotion since when they rebranded from WSOF to PFL. And listen, I like the tournament format. I like seeing the fighters that they bring in. They bring in former UFC guys. They sometimes bring in former Rising guys. They bring in people from Eastern Europe, England. So I definitely think it's a shot in the butt that we need here in the West for a just something that's not the UFC. I'm not, and that's not why I just like it. I like the tournament format. I like the original tournament bracket where you got 6 points if you finished, and all that stuff. I know that a lot of people didn't like it because they couldn't follow it. I was able to follow it because I read the nitty gritty of what the actual rules were. But it was great seeing fighters like Impa Kasanganay and others who maybe didn't do well in UFC get to showcase their skills on a on a big level and get some money out of it, a lot of money. And so yeah, I think PFL is needed in the MMA ecosystem right now. And I know again, a lot of people are I have honest criticisms about it, and there's bad faith criticisms about it. But I think PFL can, if you give it a fair shot, especially with this new tournament format, I think it's definitely on track to. It can definitely be the most interesting it's been probably since I don't know, before the pandemic. I would say.
Yeah, and also I think, I was a big fan of Beyond Rebney's Bellator, which is basically what PFL kind of rebranded to as far as their tournaments go, pretty much. And for me, if you just have another matchmaking event, which all the other events are pretty much in the West, they're just worse versions of the UFC. They aren't going to have as much talent. They're just matchmaking fights. People aren't going to be interested in those fights usually. And even the UFC is hard to follow because you don't know who's fighting. You don't know why they're fighting half the time. You don't know when you're going to see them fight again. All these things it's just common problems. Like you may have
I think
enjoyed seeing Paddy Pimblett fight. You don't know when he's going to fight next. You don't know who he's going to fight next. You don't know why those two people would fight for any kind of particular reason.
I think
Um,
also, sorry to interrupt. I
yeah,
think also is that there's a lot of over UFC saturation with the amount of shows they're doing. They're doing them in the Apex, which is a dire place to do MMA. And so PFL has a season. They're going to run a certain amount of shows for a certain amount of time, and you know that. I think right now